What is up? Welcome back to Reggie's World Sports. I'm Reggie, and before we get started, I just want to tell you guys to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share this with your friends and family, and continue to support my channel. And y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what we're going to talk about. We're going to get into that Atlanta Falcons win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from yesterday. And look, man, I got to tell you guys, that game on prime time was one of the better football games I've watched in years. Literally. That was awesome. That was an awesome football game. And quite frankly, as an Atlanta Falcon fan, I can confidently say that that win that the Atlanta Falcons pulled off against Tampa was the biggest win since January 6th, 2018. That's how long ago, in my eyes, that I can confidently say that that win was big as far as like what was at stake, you know, the significance of that game. Like, it was like that game was huge and that win was huge. And for those that don't remember what happened on January 6th, 2018, that was when the last time the Atlanta Falcons won a playoff game. They won against the LA Rams. For those that don't remember, the 2017 year, they made the playoffs after the Super Bowl year. They went 10-6, and you know they beat the Rams 26-13, and then eventually they lost to the Eagles the next round. But we're talking about 6 years since the Falcons have had a big win of this magnitude, and they got it done last night. They really did. The Atlanta Falcons got the job done, and that win was just unbelievable display of just, you know, offense back and forth. It was high scoring. I think this was also like the first time the Atlanta Falcons scored over 30 points for the first time since, was it 2022? And ironically, that was against Tampa. And you know, look, I think I remember that game, actually. I think that game was when that was the end of the year when Tampa was playing their backups, and the Falcons had Desmond Ridder at that point. But, I mean, I don't want to talk about Desmond Ridder. He's irrelevant right now. But, yeah, that was the last time the Atlanta Falcons scored over 30 points. And so, hey, big ups to the Falcons for again, getting the dub, getting the win. And look, man, we got to start off with Kirk Cousins, a.k.a. Kirk Go Chains, you know, doing the swag surf after the win, you know. And look, man, Kirk Cousins, he deserves it. He deserves it. That performance that he put forth last night was just special. We're talking about 509 yards passing. The most yards of a Falcon quarterback in Falcon history. Something Matt Ryan didn't even do, and we all know how great Matt Ryan was for this franchise. Just unbelievable, and even better, that performance that Kirk Cousins did, that put forth 509 passing yards. I think he was 32 for, what was it, 48? I think that was, I think he 48 for 32 or 48 or something like that for 509 yards. And to do it on the same night that Matt Ryan gets inducted into the Ring of Honor, you know, to do it on Matt Ryan's night was just unbelievable. It was just special stuff. Because we've seen many instances where, you know, a legend of a team, you know, he gets inducted or he has a special night that's happening, and you see the team kind of just lay an egg, and they have a bad game and bad performance that just, you know, disappoints the fans on the special night of their legend. And that wasn't the case for the Falcons. for Kirk Cousins. Like, he delivered, and for me, you know, it was just awesome that game, just to see the Falcons offense. And that was the story of the night, was the Falcons offense finally was able to click on all cylinders. When you're talking about the passing game, the offensive line giving Kirk Cousins time, he was able to scan the field, sit back in the pocket, find all of the playmakers that we were hoping that would flourish under Kirk Cousins' watch. And it happened. All of these guys, from Drake London to Darnell Mooney to Ray McLeod. We even got a Cal Pitts sighting. Oh my God, Cal Pitts. And it wasn't just, he didn't just get one catch. He had 7. We got a Cal Pitts sighting. And, look, I've been hard on Cal Pitts. In the last episode, I was wondering, just like all of this say about, like, Kirk Cousins was going to unleash Kyle Pitts. And, through the first 4 games of the year, I was left wondering, like, did we overrate Kyle Pitts? Like, are we sure Kyle Pitts is good? And those are the questions that I was asking. And at least for one night, Kyle Pitts delivered. Like, he showed up, he made some plays. Starting from the first pass that Kirk Cousins threw, he was wide open towards the middle, the right side of the field. He got open, made a 30-some yard gain, and he was pretty solid after that. And so Kyle Pitts had a big game. He had 7 catches for 88 yards. Drake London was probably the star of the whole night. He was great. I think he had, 13 catches or 12 catches was around 150 yards or so. Like, Drake London was unbelievable. He was great. And thankfully, because he got hit pretty hard twice in the game. One was early where it looked like he might have gotten a concussion. Thankfully, that wasn't the case, and he was able to get back in the game. And he got hit later in the game. And so, I mean, look, Drake London I thought he was big in that game as well. And hey, I can't forget about my guy Darnell Mooney. Like, shout out to Darnell Mooney. He was also fantastic in that game. Just when I watch him play, speaking of Darnell Mooney, he just offers the Atlanta Falcons such just a dimension that the Falcons just hasn't had. They just haven't had a guy that has some speed and it can make plays down the field, and he can beat you deep, and he can beat you running after the catch. Darnell Mooney is a stud. And I don't know what happened with him in Chicago, but he has found life in Atlanta and with Kirk Cousins. Darnell Mooney has been awesome. He's truly, in my opinion, he's been the guy. He's been Kirk Cousins' go-to guy. Like, he's the guy that Kirk Cousins trusts the most. And you can tell that they have a great chemistry between the two. He can make all the catches. He can run all the routes. He can beat you deep. He can run after the catch. He can run the slants, and he can make plays towards the middle of the field. Darnell Mooney has been awesome. He has been awesome. And shout out to Terry Fontenot for signing him and getting him out of Chicago, because he is awesome. He has been awesome. And you just look at this Falcon offense, and finally, it's what we envisioned when we first signed Kirk Cousins, and when we signed all of these guys, and when we drafted these guys. This is a team that has a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball with skill position players. Like I mentioned, Drake London, and there is Darnell Mooney, and there is Ray McLeod, who made plays, and we do have, and there is Kyle Pitts when he's involved in, and you look at the running back room, and look, Bijan Robinson, didn't have the greatest game. He hasn't like exploded since that Eagles game. But, 12 carries for 61 yards, that'll do. And he had a couple of big runs late in the game, which, helped the Falcons keep the Falcons offense moving. And I think, he's still capable of having big games. And look, there's Tyler Algier, the other running back, who, he didn't have a strong game yet last night, but he's a guy that's capable. So you just look at the weapons that this team has, and you're talking about 5 to 6 guys who can just pop off and just explode. It's a lot of offensive talent. And finally, the Atlanta Falcons was able to deliver on the offensive side of the ball. It was just picture perfect execution. Now, still at the same time, it still wasn't perfect. The penalties, we still had some offensive penalties, and that's going to have to get cleaned up because, it gets annoying as a fan to watch the Falcons make big plays or positive plays, and it gets called back because of a holding call, or an illegal formation or a chop block or just any offensive penalty. Like those penalties are just they just want to make you throw your phone at the TV. Like, what do you got? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But, look, it wasn't as many offensive penalties in last night's game compared to the penalties that we had against New Orleans. And so they're making progress in that area, but it's still something that needs to get cleaned up a little bit. And so, but offensively, like I said, it was just awesome to see this offense finally put it together and just execute and just make plays when it's time for them to make plays. And so that was good. That was good to see. Now, when you look at how the game played out, I mean, make no mistake about it. Like it was there were times in this game where it felt like the Falcons were in trouble. It's just kind of what it was. Like it just felt that way. And as great as the Falcons played offensively, that can't be said defensively. Defensively, the Falcons had their issues defensively. It's specifically in that first half. Baker Mayfield, and shout out to Baker Mayfield on the other side. Baker Mayfield, he was on it. He was playing great. And, you can just tell, Baker Mayfield just looks comfortable in Tampa. He looks comfortable. He's a little more healthier. And look, I'll admit, I might have to take the L on Baker Mayfield as far as his Tampa Bay stint, because I thought Baker Mayfield was going to go in Tampa, and I thought he was going to struggle, and I thought we were going to look at him as like a journeyman or a bust. And that's not the case. Like he's rejuvenated his career. He had a really nice year last year, and he's came back this year. And by the way, he's doing it with a new coordinator, because the offensive coordinator he had last year went to Carolina. And so he's doing it under a new offensive coordinator, and he's balling. He's playing great. He's throwing the ball to his weapons. You have Mike Evans and Godwin. They're running the ball better. That's something that Tampa Bay hasn't historically done, hasn't been, historically been known for, but they've been running the ball better. And so, like I said, man, Baker Mayfield's balling, and for the Falcon defense, Lord have mercy. I mean, we gonna have to. It was a bad night yesterday for the defense, for the most part. I mean, they made some timely plays later in that game, which I'll get to a little bit in a few minutes or seconds or so. But defense was a struggle for the defense. The running defense, we couldn't stop the run for the most part in this game. It felt like every running play, Tampa Bay was just getting 10 plus yards. Every running play. I couldn't explain it. But, our inability to stop the run was just bad last night. And it's starting to become a real issue, over the course of the season. Like, we're just not stopping the run at all. Teams just running the ball right down our throats. Grady Jarrett, I love Grady Jarrett, but it seems like he ain't completely healthy from his knee issue from last year. And so, you just wonder how long it'll take for him to get back to full strength when it comes to that. But the running defense just hasn't been up to snuff this season. And then the pass rush. I mean, Lord have mercy. I mean, it feels like Groundhog Day when it comes to the lack of pass rush for the Atlanta Falcons. Like, we just can't rush the passer. It's every game. It's like every time, a quarterback gets to sit back in a pocket, he gets to scan the field, and with like Baker Mayfield from last night. I mean, it's like he can just sit back in a pocket, get his iPhone, scroll on Instagram, and just like pictures of Instagram models and close his phone and then complete a pass. I mean, seriously. It's just without the Falcons breathing on him. I mean, seriously. I mean, we got our pass rush is so bad that opposing quarterbacks can just sit back in the pocket, grab their phone, scroll on Instagram, like pictures of Instagram models, close their phone, and complete a pass. I mean, it's bad right now. I mean, our pass rush it's been awful. I feel like we're not getting the benefits, when we traded for Matthew Judon. It just feels like we just haven't gotten the impact from him this year so far. And it's disappointing. And look, it's early, still kind of early. I'm hoping that Matthew Judon will be able to find his footing somehow, but we're just the lack of pass rush is just it's a problem. And it's something that it just has to be better. It just has to be. And it's just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is when it comes to our lack of pass rush. I don't know. Like, I can't explain it. I mean, it's like defensive ends come to Atlanta and they wear a Falcon jersey and they just die. Like, literally. They just come to Atlanta. If you're a defensive end, you're an edge rusher, you come to Atlanta, you're just going to die. Because for whatever reason, you just can't rush the passer. We might be cursed when it comes to edge rushers and defensive linemen getting after quarterbacks. I mean, it's unbelievable how we just can't rush. We can't rush the passer right now. The last time the Falcons was able to get after the quarterback, John Abraham was here. And even when he was here, I feel like we weren't that good of a defensive line. He was just great, and it was just him, and that's it. And so you literally have to go back to the days of Rod Coleman and Patrick Kearney and Brian Hall. Like, you have to go back that far, and that's like 2005, 2004. I mean, we're talking about nearly 20 years since the last time the Atlanta Falcons had a legit defensive line that can get after quarterbacks and not just one guy. And so it's bad right now. I mean, it's just, as a Falcon fan, it's frustrating that we have not been able to get after quarterbacks. It really is. I mean, it's frustrating to see quarterbacks. Every quarterback we play, they can just sit back in the pocket and just scan the field and just, make any throw that they want to make. And so it's not good when it comes to that. But, again, the Falcons were able to pull through. They were able to get the job done. They were able to win. Shout out to Jesse Bates. He had 2 forced fumbles last night. He is a stud. I mean, Jesse Bates is the best safety in the league, in the NFL. To me, I don't think there's a debate about that. He just makes plays. He makes plays. He makes interceptions. He forces fumbles. He makes plays. And again, like, he's another guy that you have to look at. I mean, is Jessie Bates the best, greatest safety? Like, at this point, like, he might be the greatest safety in Falcon history, or at least he's headed that way, because I've never seen an Atlanta Falcons safety like Jessie Bates, who just makes play after play after play every week. He is unbelievable. Jessie Bates is unbelievable. I mean, he's putting on his Ed Reed impersonation in the way he just makes plays every week. He's special. And just the forced fumble that he had late in the game, where it looked like Tampa Bay was going to be in position to maybe kick a field goal and maybe, make the Falcons' ability to come back in the game difficult. Jessie Bates was huge. And so shout out to him. I thought he was great. But, as you look at this game overall and just the way that it played out, the Falcons, like, they were kind of in danger zone territory. They were down 30-27, after the defense was able to make a couple of stops on Tampa. And so Kirk Cousins, again, also read a stat. I think he has like 11 fourth quarter comebacks since 2022, and that's the most in the National Football League. Kirk Cousins, like, this is a guy he's delivering in the clutch. He's delivering. He's not afraid of these moments where he's just, when you're down, when you're behind when you're down in the game, and it's whether it's 3 or 7, he's shown that he's not afraid, and he can make plays, and he can make big throws, and he's not fazed by the moment. And I thought, again, in that fourth and late in the game, he was able to put the Falcons in position. And look, that play where he just threw the ball to Drake London, and then it was 11 seconds, and the offense was able to run and be able to, snap the ball with a second left to position Younghoe to kick that field goal was just big time stuff. Like, that was big time execution. And you can just tell on that play, that is something that you can just see that the Falcons were coached up. They were prepared for that moment. And so kudos to Kirk Cousins. Kudos to Zach Robinson and Raheem Morris because they were prepared for that moment. They were prepared. They executed that play well. And Younghoe, and look, Younghoe did not have earlier in the game. He missed 2 field goals. And when that happened, I was like, what is wrong with Younghoe? Well, what is it like? This is not like him. And so he missed the key field goal early in the game. And when it's crunch time, Younghoe, he's going to deliver for you. And he did it against the Saints, and he did it in this game against Tampa. Like, when it's time for him to make kicks, when it's late in the game, he's going to make them. And speaking of field goal kicking, and again, shout out to Younghoe for delivering last night on his kicks. But maybe it's just me when it comes to field goal kicking, but it feels like these days kickers are making 50 to 60 yarders with ease, just with straight ease. And I was having this conversation with somebody a couple of days ago about this, and I'm just wondering, like, it feels to me that there's some type of just, training, or I don't know what it is, but it feels like these days kickers are doing something with their legs where they're just strengthening them up with some type of, I don't know what device that they use in football or in the NFL, but whatever they're doing, or whatever devices that or machines that they use that they use their legs, it's making them and it's helping them when it comes to field goal kicking, because these kickers are making 50 plus yarders with ease, like it's nothing, like it's a piece of cake or something. I can't explain it, because to me I feel like 10 to 15 years ago, I don't think you would be seeing kickers consistently make 50 plus yarders ever consistently. And we're seeing it now. Like every Sunday, kickers are making 50 plus yarders, 55 yarders, 60 yarders, just with ease. And look, Younghoe Koo, again, shout out to him, because he's been consistent for the Falcons. Like, the Falcons have had Matt Bryant, and he was clutch, and he was great in his own right. And as soon as he got old and he left, they found this guy, and he's been delivering for this team. And look, he's been huge. Younghoe Koo has been huge. Like, he's had a major play in the Falcons winning these 3 games, because we needed him to deliver, and that's what he's done. And so, again, shout out to Younghoe Koo for delivering. I thought the game overall between the Falcons and Bucs was fantastic. A division rival, went straight down to the wire. High scoring, a lot of offense. It was awesome. It was an awesome game. It's probably the best football game I've watched all year up to this point. And look, as a Falcon fan, like this is fun. This is fun. This is what you want. This is what you want. Just fun, competitive football. The NFC South is fun. It feels like it's a 3-team race between the Falcons, the Bucs, and the Saints. And so, hey, this is what it's all about. Just fun, exciting football. And hey, man, what else is there to say? When your favorite, and this isn't just about football, just in sports in general, whether it's the NBA or Major League Baseball, when your favorite team is winning, or if they win that night, that previous night, you just wake up and you just feel good. You just there's just a new energy throughout that following day when your favorite team wins. And that's how I'm feeling right now. Like, my Falcons won last night, and I'm feeling awesome. I'm feeling great, and I'm just, hey, I mean, it just feels like it's just gonna be a great day and a great weekend. And so, I'm happy. I'm happy that the Falcons won. I'm happy they were able to put together a great game, a great drive. And that's what it's all about. It's about winning. That's what professional sports is about. Just it's fun. It's fun. It's exciting, and I'm looking forward to the next game. And look, the next game that the Falcons gonna have is they're playing Carolina. And look, Carolina, we know what they are. I mean, they're in the dumps. But they also benched Bryce Young. And they're playing Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton, he's put together 2 pretty decent games. They beat Oakland, and I saw a little bit of their game against Cincinnati the other week, and the Panthers were able to hang in tough against Cincinnati, and so the Panthers are clearly better with Andy Dalton than they are with Bryce Young, and so. Look, there's no gimmies in this league. We know this. There's no gimmies in their division team. And so the Falcons are just, we can't take any teams lightly moving forward. We just can't. And this team, as great as the win was last night, we got to get better defensively. And like I said earlier, we got to find some semblance of a pass rush. I mean, goodness. We gotta get better at rushing the quarterback. We gotta get better at stopping the run. But offensively, I love what I saw. I love that the passing game was able to click. I think the running game is gonna get back to where it was early in the year, and I think that's gonna click. And look, offensively, like we saw in that game, if when the offensive line can keep Kirk Cousins upright, and we don't commit penalties, self-inflicting penalties, we can. This offense is explosive, and they can put up points, and they got playmakers all over. And so, like I said, great win. The Falcons are 3-2. Kirk Cousins was able to surf after the game. It was just, and Raheem Morris. Shout out to Raheem Morris for having these boys ready to play. And like I said, great win. And hey, let's keep it going. We got Carolina's up next, and let's get to 4-2, and let's just get this momentum cracking, because that's what the NFL is about. It's about momentum, and when you got confidence and you got momentum, and it can go a long way. And so, Carolina, that's what we have up next. And hey, that's all. That's my thoughts. That's what I got. Those are my thoughts for this game. And what are y'all thoughts on the game? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Continue to subscribe to my channel. Like, share, and subscribe to your friends and family. And hey, continue to support my channel. And so that's all I got for today. And I'll see you guys in the next video.